been told that Nuran, like, it's not really that easy studying abroad. And I was like, no, there's no option B for me. I want that thing. You don't understand me, but this is the truth. This is so exciting. Am I ready? I've been born ready. Okay, let's do this. That sound. I think I'm ready. Gosh, the pressure. Whew. Damn. Here we go. I'm just a bit worried about the lights, but we'll make it. Right. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or more like welcome to my channel, because I don't really post that often and I really should. And let me actually check, because sending my bestie photos are more important than doing this video. I need to respond back to her first, showing everyone that I'm doing the video even though I'm not doing the video right now, because that's gonna push me to finish this. Yes, so nervous, but it's all good. It's good kind of nervous. Let's get started. Yeah, where do I begin? It's such a big topic and I probably won't have enough time, because if I actually talk about every single detail, we'd be stuck here for at least 10 hours and I have work, so I can't. But what am I doing here? Why am I here? And what I'm gonna talk about. It's everything's not gonna be tied up nicely, but I will try my best to give the best story, because I don't know. I should not really think about it and just talk about it, which I'm gonna do. My friends know that I do talk a lot, and I don't know why I keep looking out, but it's really difficult to focus on the camera, the what do you call that? I don't know. The camera's what? Now I'm gonna be thinking of that. So anyway, why do I do this? Number one, I have a lot to tell. Yes, I do like to share every bit of experience, every bit of information, every bit of little thing I hear, see, read from there and whatever. And I'm not really the best person to speak. I get distracted a lot easily and I have so much going on in my head, like tons of topics running right now. And eventually I will lead on to something else, but not only my friends, anyone who knows me and anyone who contacted me somehow should know by now that if I'm allowed, if I get the chance, and if I would know that you're interested in that topic, I would just give you a really long voice message. Yes, I do that. I have friendships where I send like 30-minute long voice messages. I'm not even kidding. I'm giving like podcasts out there. And I thought, if I'm doing this to my friends or people that I just barely know, why don't I do it to new friends? Because again, there's so many things to talk about and so many opinions going on. And I know not everyone's gonna, think what I say is as important, or that like anything I have to say is that interesting or useful or anything like that. But in the end, as humans, I think we're here on this earth to share things. That's why I thought I should go back into this and talk about anything, because this is one of the things I love the most. And I really hope you appreciate the length of this video, because I don't know how long it will be in the end, but I know for a fact that it will be a long one. It will definitely not be one where I will conclude everything, but it is definitely something worthy of a conversation. So, putting aside why I'm doing this, let's get into what I am doing right now. Where do I even begin? I thought about this a lot, and I had like some sentences in my head I definitely wanted to put out there. Okay, let's rewind and go back to 2 years ago. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. I, right now, live in one of the cities that I probably dreamt of living in. London was not necessarily a city that I saw myself in, as like living, but I don't know, as a teenager and even much before that, I always wanted to go abroad and live my life abroad. It was just a thing I wanted, and anyone who knows me in my whole life knew that this was the path I wanted to take for myself, and this was the way my life would go. I don't think it was a surprise to anyone in my life that where I am right now, how I am here, and all that stuff. And that's because all my life long, everything I've done, everything I felt, everything, I don't know, this is really like difficult to express, but I put all my energy and actions into building today. And no, there is no formula, there is no way of getting where you want to be, but there's definitely one thing, is that manifesting is one thing that is good, and I believe, although I don't know the way you do it could be different, but one thing I truly believe is that if you put your energy and mind to something, and if you really want that thing, only if you take action, then that thing will happen for you. I'm not saying it will always happen right away or it will happen so easily, but if you really set your mind to something, you can do it. And yes, maybe the way I sound makes it like, okay, like you got lucky, you got, the things that somehow found you as well, but I think most of these things that found me because I looked for them and I put all of my energy and my actions towards it. I don't know if there's a way to word this, and I know it will sound a bit like annoying even, but this is the truth. Let me explain what I mean. Yes, when I was little and I was 7 years old, I didn't really have much of, control over myself, and I didn't get to choose where to live and all that stuff, and I was lucky enough to experience living abroad, which I am so thankful happened to me, because I believe that time, that whole experience in my childhood shaped my whole personality into this and made me want to learn other languages, get myself immersed with other cultures and all that stuff, which led me to this part of my life. I'm sorry, I'm going a bit off track, and it is so difficult to take this into a single timeline, but bear with me, I'll try my best. So basically, when I was 7 years old, I lived in Japan with my family, and it was only for 2 years, but that was a definitely turning point in my personality, because I was young, I was just a kid really, and that literally gave me actually it's funny because if you were to ask my 7-year-old self, she wasn't really happy with that decision, but I think once she adapted, once she learned things, and once she spent some time and actually started settling in and fitting in, I think she really appreciated it. Fast forward, what happened? We moved back to my home country, Turkey. Apologies, I really struggle pronouncing words differently, because I know I would normally say Türkiye in Turkish, but it's really difficult to say it in English. And then anyway, I'm getting off track, sorry. This is the reason why my voice messages are so long. After going back to Turkey, I was always the odd one, because I had gained some I don't know, habits, some traits that didn't really belong to people in Turkey, and I think that's why I never felt like I belonged to one single culture, and I felt safer, and I don't know, I felt more like myself when I was among other cultures, when I was sharing something. And I think slowly I started to build my life in this way. Yes, I am still Turkish, and I'm still, I still have a lot of Turkish qualities? I don't know. Turkish habits, lifestyle in some ways, and I still have things that I will probably never get rid of. Not that I want to, but there are things I probably cannot ever change, because that's just part of me. That's just something that I lived with for so long that it's impossible to erase. I understand that it might sound a bit cringy or anything, but it is true that by time I always did other stuff. Ignore the noise in the background. I have a cat behind me, which is another story that I'm I don't know, thinking to share soon. But yeah, it's really difficult to talk. So since coming back and having lived abroad once, I've seen that thing and I've got to experience what it was like. And for me, the goal was always somehow going back, not necessarily to Japan, but somewhere that wasn't Turkey, and I still get to be Turkish, but I still get to experience the other stuff in the world. That was definitely the reason I think all of my choices were made in a certain way. What do I mean by that? So again, in middle school, I started having a huge liking to all that K-pop, K-dramas and stuff like that. And I know we've all been through something similar. That was my first point where I was like, okay, I do want to live abroad, and that place is South Korea for me. That was definitely one of the first places I wanted to be. Well, in terms of like living. That just turned into such a big passion that everything I consumed and everything I learned, everything I spent my time on was all about Korea. I learned a bit of Korean myself. I still, to this day, can read a little. Not necessarily I would understand it, but I know the alphabet and everything. And I still know some words, I still know some lyrics and songs. I still know a lot of phrases that even though I wouldn't be able to like really translate, but I can understand. Yeah, that was definitely another part that led me to this way. And obviously much before Korea, I was always consuming some foreign movies, TV series and stuff like that. And actually one of the places where I wanted to visit, not necessarily live, was Italy. I think that was one of the first places after Japan that I was aware of as a kid. And that was all because of a movie by Hilary Duff. Well, Lizzie McGuire, don't we all know that? This is what dreams are made of. If you're, well, I don't know, not all, but yeah, I guess a lot of people by my age would know. I always admired like the differences in life, and I admired different cultures, and I was drawn to languages. And I don't know if it had something to do with me having that experience once, but I always said I've seen it once and I want it again. And I think once you have that, like, I don't know, like that break from your own country, and maybe sometimes even if you've been in the same country, it happens, I guess you have that like moment, but once that happens, you just want it to happen again. That literally what I did focus on my whole life. So this whole wanting to live abroad thing started way back in middle school, and it was something I set my mind in. I didn't necessarily know where I was gonna live, even though I had places I definitely wanted to live in, but that was just something I always wanted to do. And like, I don't know, some other kids perhaps had like some other expectations in life, and definitely not a lot of kids, I think. I don't know, because I always thought like not everyone thinks maybe that far ahead, and like they have some other priorities, they focus more on the now and the moment itself. But I felt like I was a bit unique in that way, that I wanted something so specific. I guess that's why I was always a bit different, in the sense that I struggled with my friendships because it was always hard to find the right people that would understand your passion about those things. And I even had been bullied in high school about my love of Korea, and like one day I even wrote like in my diary, I think, complaining about why can't people stop talking about other people's, like, you know, likings and just like focus on themselves instead. And I remember specifically, like, I remember particularly this one girl that made me cry. She probably forgot about that, she probably would never remember, but I remember, because that was definitely, it wasn't just like mocking something I like, but it was just mocking my whole self, like everything I believed in and everything I wanted in life. Anyway, this topic is getting really long now. This will be a, how long? Okay, 25 minutes I've been recording. 25? 20, yeah, 26 now. I don't think this video will necessarily change anyone's life, but I'd like to think that maybe it gives you some kind of motivation, some kind of push, or some kind of, I don't know, like belief that, I don't know, maybe even a little bit of like inspiration that you would go after what your heart is looking for. So yeah, like I started my high school wanting to go to Korea, and I spent like doing all these things. By the way, English was never a language that I felt like I needed to learn, but it was a language that I personally really liked, and I can make a whole video about how I worked on my English and what I've done so far, or what kind of things helped me like improve my English level if you're interested. But I was always like engaging in some stuff. I wouldn't just like listen to songs, for example, but I would like print out the lyrics and like just with their translation and everything, like almost like a study. But yeah, I did like all sorts of things that kept helping me get where I am right now. Maybe back in the time, none of these things were like essentially something I planned on. It wasn't really something that I had my mind on to do. They were just things that I really enjoyed. But at the same time, I feel like maybe internally, my energy was so focused on this future that I wanted in life. And all my choices somehow led to that. I don't know if this makes sense, and I know that I'm probably repeating myself multiple times, but it's just the way it is. High school, wanting to go to Korea, studying Korean, and like watching everything I can. And I remember one day I had a math exam the next day, and I was just like finish off this series I really was into. I think that was Secret Garden. It was really good, and I don't regret to this day. And I probably didn't have like enough sleep or whatever, but yeah, I was really obsessed. And once, I think one of the like things I have, like one of the traits I have is that I'm really stubborn, and I'm really like, once I'm focused on something, and if I want that thing, I will do anything to get that thing. And even though I feel like some days nowadays, like getting older and just getting tired in life a little bit, I maybe started to lose that side of me, but I feel like I'm gaining it back. And that's why this moment is so important for me to make this video, because this is another thing that I always wanted to do. And yeah, let's not keep talking about that, but yeah, I feel like because of my stubbornness and all that, like having that thing in your mind and wanting to do that all the time, I ended up putting all my energy and doing all the activities that was somehow connected to the same thing. Okay, later in high school, I started watching more movies, more like TV series, and started making more foreign friends. And I feel like that was another thing that definitely got me even more passionate about the idea of living abroad. Because even though I really liked my friends in Turkey, gosh, this is so difficult to like, I want to say Turkey, but at the same time I'm saying like Turkey. That's like, ignore my pronunciation. And I really apologize. But to the word, what was I saying? Gosh, I'm distracting myself. Oh, my sister, she's so cute, love you. Oh, my friends are all going to bed and I'm doing this. What was I saying? Lost. This is so difficult. I shouldn't have given a break. Even though I had friends in Turkey, and I would say that most of my friends, not most, I think all of my friends had somehow some relation to either wanting to live abroad, or wanting to learn a different language, or wanting to learn about different cultures, or maybe just like really interested in like foreign movies and TV series that I could get along with them. On top of my head, I cannot think many friends that are like fully Turkish, that only consume Turkish stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just please don't misunderstand me. And I really, you know, understand if it's not really your cup of tea, but at the same time, I felt like if people didn't really consume anything foreign, I just always struggled to make a connection, because my likings in life and their hobbies and like everything, just I wouldn't find a common ground, because somehow either way I would want to talk about those things. Again, just putting your all energy into that thing. And this wasn't something I was actively like looking to do, but it was just something coming naturally. So fast forward, later in high school, I had my mind set to go study in abroad, and like I actually had that all the time, but well, initially it was South Korea, and later in life it turned into USA. And that was all because I was really interested in like marketing and like entertainment industry and all that stuff. And it didn't happen, although I got like admitted to, I guess, 5 universities. I was really proud because I had no help. I did all my applications by myself. I studied for everything by myself, no courses or anything. So I was really proud with those results alone. And well, could have done better, but well, it wasn't meant to be. Because it was, I probably wouldn't be here right now. Coming to uni, again, like going abroad didn't happen right away. And I remember at the end of high school, I was an IB student and I was so close to, like, I had some health issues as well, and I was so close to give up on that, and I was gonna just like let it go. But I still wanted to like study abroad, and I remember I've been told that, Nuran, like it's not really that easy studying abroad, it's not really that simple, it's not as glamorous as it looks, like you have options here in Turkey as well, and you should really consider like an option B. And I was like, no, there's no option B for me, because I want that thing. You don't understand me, because that thing that you think is not something I can do, but it is something I've done before. I've been a foreign student before. I've been the only one in a whole classroom full of Japanese students, and I've done it. I've seen it, I lived it, and I want it again. That's just, it's really not something I felt like they could understand. And I was like, I didn't even think, I didn't even want to like think about an option B, because that was not the case for me. I wanted to go abroad. I didn't care what was the way, I didn't care how it happened, I wanted it to happen. It was getting even more difficult, and Turkish economy was going bad, and things were getting worse and worse. I wasn't really in a place to afford it on my own, and like we didn't really have that like opportunity as well. But somehow, some way, I just started uni in Turkey. I took a gap year trying to get ready for universities again, but couldn't land scholarships, and I ended up having to give up on that dream to study in USA, but not necessarily living abroad, because that was still something I had my mind set. And again, like up till now, like up to that moment, I was still doing all the things that would get me into just somehow like having some kind of connection to other countries. I had pen pals, I've been sending letters. Like one time it was Christmas, and I think I sent like 15 or 16 different countries. I can't even remember the number of people I sent to, but I sent like cards and stuff like that. And I was like that person who always try to get like some connections, something out of Turkey. And I don't know, I always followed my heart, and I always wanted that to happen to me. And when I started university in Turkey, I knew that it wasn't for me. I spent like a year, and I was like, okay, I get this, and this is nice. It wasn't necessarily about university, or it wasn't necessarily a bad major. I did like new media a little bit, and I was like, okay, this is good. This is not what I want. This is not enough for me. I want more. Not in a greedy way, not in a way that, you know, I'm not content with what I had. It wasn't just enough for me. I just sought for something that was way beyond what I was doing, where I was, and I knew that I wasn't gonna be happy staying there. And I did the most, I guess, radical decision, and like I had to make a decision. And my brother, which I was again lucky enough to have my brother. My brother, who at the time studied in China and stayed there, told me, "No, why don't you come here?" Because I already, by the way, visited him for a month before I started uni in Turkey, and like it wasn't really like a thing that I was considering. And it was funny because I remember I messaged one of my high school friends 1st of April, like as in like April Fools. I was just saying like, you don't know, maybe I'll end up studying in China. Like I was just joking around. I didn't really think about it. Not necessarily that like it was a bad choice, and I will come back to that later, but it was just not something I planned. It was not something I had in mind. China was not an option for me in my head. Well, Chinese is really difficult, and so when that happened, it was like so interesting because no one expected that and no one knew. Actually, I didn't even knew because I took my finals in like first year, the second term. I took all the finals. I'm finishing the year. Like I went through all that trouble. And everything is done. I probably didn't even get my final results yet, and I was like, okay, let's do this. I want to do this. And within 2 months, I just found myself packing for a whole new journey. And again, that was definitely not the plan, but I'm glad it happened. I think me aiming to go to China and wanting to practice my English led me to meet my husband. And I guess it was just meant to be again. I couldn't have planned something like this because, I don't know, that's a whole another story. But basically, I was looking for people to practice my English with and somehow met my husband. We met in Istanbul right before I went to China and became an item, and like everything happened so quickly, to be honest. And he got to visit me in China as well. Few times, I think up to 5 or something like that. And after such like long time of long distance relationship, and with all the struggles and issues we went through, just like the hardship of being away, and don't even let me like start on COVID, but we made it, and eventually we just got to this point where I graduated and we got married, and now I'm here. So yeah, gosh, that was a lot to go through, I guess. Again, you might have a lot of questions and wondering why all this like things, and like my point is that I think a part of me always wanted and knew I wouldn't be in Turkey and I wouldn't live my life there, or I wouldn't spend at least maybe like these years. I still don't know if I will ever go back or if I will always be living abroad, but I think I'm the kind of person that had my eyes set on somewhere else. And yes, I had some times that I was lucky and I found opportunities, but I think at the same time, every single step that I took, every single activity that I've done, every single, I don't know, moments or like time I spent on doing all those things that helped me learn about cultures, learn about languages, learn about all that adaptation and like everything in a way tied up together. And in the end, if you ask me, I don't know if manifesting really works. I can't say for sure if that's a thing that exists and will happen for you. But one thing I know is that once you have something that you really deeply desire and want, and if you really focus all your energy and your all attention and all of those things, like that passion, that like drive, that motivation, and that whole like burning desire, I think it could happen. Because yes, life is what happens to you when you have other plans. But I think in the core, it's still sometimes you may not know deep down what's gonna be the best for you. But like the core of the things you want, I think can still find you if you keep working on it. Yes, like manifesting is nice and it might actually help you to motivate yourself and set goals and, I don't know, move towards a way. But in the end, the only thing will bring the change is the actions themselves. I guess that's another reason why I'm doing this video, because one day will come, maybe I will be like, remember that video I did randomly just talking about my long running desire to live abroad? That changed my life, and I feel like it could be the one. I don't know, but all I know is that whatever you have in your heart, go for it. Put your mind to it. Every action you take, like everything you do, should somehow feed into that one wish, one dream. And if you truly believe in it, and if you truly put your energy to it, I really do think it could happen for you, and I really hope that it will. And maybe you will talk to me that it actually happened to you here, or maybe, I don't know, you'll watch this video and months later, years later, God knows when, but maybe even days, you'll come back and say, you know what, it actually happened, because that's life. And I don't know, I don't know much. I'm not like a wise person, but I feel like we should share, and I feel like we should like be there for each other. And in any way, if this video provides some kind of hope for you, some kind of motivation and inspiration, I guess that will definitely make me the happiest person on earth. A lot of people didn't really think I could do it. A lot of people didn't think that it would necessarily happen to me. And I bet like a lot of people deep down maybe even made fun of me, of the things I wanted to do in life and the life I wanted for myself. And maybe even right now, some people would find this, okay, what is this girl talking about? But I know for a fact that I am working towards a life that I want to build for myself, and I really hope you do yours as well. Anyway, thank you for listening. If you like this video, please let me know by giving a thumbs up, like a classic thing. And let me know what else you want to know, what else I can help with. Let me know if there's any questions that I can answer, and yeah, just keep me updated and tell me your stories. If you have anything else to share, just let us, not just me, let us know down below in the comments. And if you want to hear more from me, don't forget to click on that subscribe button. And yeah, I hope to see you soon. And I'm really glad your way ended in this video. And yeah, I really hope you found something for yourself in this. Take care, until next time, bye!